Okay, so here's a boring job for a Saturday morning that nobody really wants to do. High beam switches. These are actually commonly called dimmer switches, but I mean, I always called them high-low switches. Located at the column. So, anyway, get this kick plate out of here. I just lowered it. I actually managed to repair the release cable while I was down here too, but you don't need to try and finagle to disconnect this thing, because I mean, there's little tabs holding it in there, but you know, it's fine. You can just lower it like that. It's good enough because it's right here. So typically what happens, switch wears out. Sometimes you'll play with it and the headlights will go out, which happened to me actually a couple nights ago. So if that happens to you, you better just hope that it's a full moon and that you can see where you're going, because well, usually when they go out, you'll have to play with it until they come back on again. Plus, you know, surprisingly, I had my high beams on. I went to switch it over to low. I was only about, I don't know, a couple hundred yards from the house, and when I went to flick them off to low, this was at 3 in the morning, I ended up losing all headlights. You also notice that it doesn't click anymore. You're supposed to hear a click with this. So anyway, here's the new one. This little tab here, once you get the actuator rod in there, just remove this. This just comes out. Serves no purpose really. It just kind of prevents the switch from being clickered. So yeah, anyway, I lowered the column. I'm going to lower it further. As you can tell, I have a little bit of a bolt still, a couple threads on there. I'm going to disconnect the indicator, gear shift indicator, because we don't want to overstretch that or it'll break and it'll be no good. Alright, so grab yourself a flat screwdriver for this. Normally I would chalk an outline, but because this thing probably hasn't been touched since 1990, I think we can safely assume that we'll be okay and that there'll be a mark here anyway. So just try and push it off without scratching the column. And sometimes it can be a real pain if it's been on there for a while. Now, it's not absolutely imperative that it has to be in the same spot when you go to reinstall it either, if there is no mark there. Sometimes there's like a little rust line or what have you, but like I say, as long as you leave the column in park, just kind of guide the cable down to where it looks like it's going to be in the park position, and then just clip it on there. It's really not that big of a deal. So 15 millimeter to lower it, and then 13 for these. You may want to remove all of this nonsense and get this bracket out of the way so you can actually see the switch and the actuator rod. Alright, with that removed, this is kind of a no-no. You should really have it suspended a little bit, but I mean the actual shaft, the intermediate shaft that goes to the gearbox is kind of going to suspend it, but just don't pull on it by any means. You're really not supposed to let it hang like that. So 13 mil, and we'll get that bracket out of our way, and then we can actually see our high beam switch. See, this whole piece here is part of what holds it up there, so we actually have to remove it in order to get to it and gain access to it. I believe there is a 10 mil or an 8 mil screw bolt that holds that in there. I can't remember. It's been a few years since I changed it, so I'll kind of relearn as I go here. But anyway, we need access to get to it, and we have to lower it a little bit anyway, and we got to get this bracket out of here, and the only way to do that is to lower the column. And voila, I do believe that is a 10 mil up in there that is holding it. We can see it. just hoping it is actually the switch, not a bent actuator rod. Normally that doesn't happen unless you really pound the hell out of the stock, but yeah, it's 100% the switch. Well, the plug is fairly straightforward. You might as well unplug it now to gain access to the screw at the back, but it's just, you squeeze it, the two little pins here. Let's see. Yeah, you just squeeze those. Take note. Squeeze, and if it's really giving you a hard time, just push in one tab first, and then use a screwdriver and just kind of shuffle it around a little bit. It'll come out of there. It's not going to cause you any grief. So. Now to access the final bolt, you're better off to access it through here. Like I say, just for clarity purposes, you'll be able to see it. Not only that, there is it might be the brake switch. So for the brake lights, the cruise control, there's a bunch of stuff over here. So it'll make your life a little easier. Try not to push down on the column too much. Like I say, you won't hurt anything, but like I say, it shouldn't be. There's a U-joint in here, you don't want to hyperextend it too much and so forth. So anyway, so there it is. I'll put that there. Binds. Yeah, see right there, that's why that's stuck. Oh, see, I got it. Yeah, so that'd be original. This actually, Delco still makes these, but there are a little different plug wise. This is by standard. They do actually claim that you might have to modify this a bit, but I really don't think we're going to have to modify it, to be honest. It looks pretty darn close. So, but in any event, so we'll get the new one in there, and we'll have to adjust it as well. So don't tighten anything down yet until you absolutely try everything on the column. And once we plug it in, we can test our lights. It's not bad, give yourself about an hour for something like this, because it is a lot of just monkeying around with stupid nonsense, right? Like you're fighting around with, well, 1/4 inch, 8 mils, I think 5/16 I have out here, 11/32. Like, it's all just stupid nonsense. And 13 mil bolts for that, and 15 for the the main bracket that holds the column up there. It's just a lot of goofing around with stuff that you don't want to break either, right? A lot of plastic clips. Like, see, this had to be removed. In order to remove this, it's pretty straightforward too. You just reach your hand in behind and just push on this, and just ever so lightly push out from behind the dash, and it will come out of there without breaking it. You don't want to break this, because I've had them like one tab go on me, and then all of a sudden the whole car has one massive rattle, and it's just going through your head, right? So you want to try not to break as many clips as you possibly can. Okay, so getting the switch in here, I don't have anything bolted down yet. I just had the actuator rod sit in there. There's one thing you don't want to do, is to start playing with this, because if that actuator rod becomes unhooked up here, well, you're gonna have a really miserable Saturday morning. So don't play with it at all. Just get one bolt started in there, and you have all kinds of time to play with buttons and knobs and everything else after you put the car back together. Stupid idiot. Okay, I went ahead and removed the pin. We got it in there. Might have to make adjustments, not sure yet. Now you can try your clicker. That operates quite nicely. I'm gonna see if we can get the plug on there. That'll be the next debacle, because this wire is so short. If we have to do any modifications, we're gonna have to do it well. Everything is in here, because yeah, like I say, everything, all the wiring is so short in here. If I can even find the damn thing where I shoved it. But yeah, standard seems to like to throw stuff like that in their little cartons. It's kind of scary, but that's the price you pay when you pay $10 for a new switch when you should have bought GM. I wanted $60 for Delco, and I'm like, do I really need that? I'm sitting there thinking about it, and it's like, you know, I don't drive at night anymore. It was just one random fluke by chance. I decided to go out at 2 in the morning because I couldn't fall asleep one night and, you know, needed the high beams, and then, you know, that's how I found out that they didn't work. They probably haven't worked for years, really, like, you know. Anyhow, so that's just one of those things. Now, if I can find that stupid harness, I might need a second. So anyway, it clicked in there, no problem. So, like I say, Standard likes to throw things in there like that to get you all worked up. Turn the lights on. You can kind of see the reflection of the Cadillac, the bumper there. Let's try it. Yep, I saw a flash. Yep, so that's definitely high beam. And there's low beam. There you go. Put the car back together. You're done.